obviously with this Nick Nurse signing this week, Fred VanVleet went on, I think was the Shams's podcast or show, and talked about playing with Nick Nurse. And he talked about how it's going to be great for Philadelphia. They're going to try a lot of new things. It was very, also kind of made a flirtatious type of comment where he wishes him well. If he's, what was the quote, Teja? If I'm there, I hope they do well. If they're not, then I'm not gonna be rooting for them.
Yeah, if I'm there with him or something.
If I'm there with him, so that got a lot of people talking online about a potential Plan B replacement if James Harden goes. So Eric, I want to ask you, what do you think about the fit of Fred VanVleet and a Tyrese Maxey backcourt if James Harden is not there next year?
He's not a superstar. Let's get that out of the way first.
At least you know. At least you learn that you're a superstar. Yeah. At least you learn it. Especially in Philly now. You sell some tickets in Philly, you let me know. I don't know. I don't know how much I like that.
Is it
a really small backcourt?
It's height. Is it height or skill set that bothers you?
Not skill. It's more height and size. It's like in this game is like, not that James really guarded the top player, but say for instance, Maxey guards the best guards, and the best guards are the point guards, and the shooting guard is really good too, but he's 6'7". You know what I'm saying? That's different with James because James is 6'5".
Yeah.
But that would, my concern would be more that
size.
I know it's not a lot of teams out there like that, but I'm just saying. So
Toronto, right? What's Gary Trent? 6'4"?
6'5".
Yeah, he's 6'5", 6'6". Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it's just different. You play Memphis, and obviously Maxey will guard Morant, and Bane is 6'4", 6'5". Even though he's not really one of the guys who need the shot. You play Phoenix. Phoenix would be different. Depends on you played Chris, but we play Boston. Boston start bigger guys. They start the bigs, and they got Tatum at the 2. It's just small.
Yeah, that's been a big problem with people for the most part. Just too small. Some guys even call him a cone on defense. That's not what I thought.
He's small, and he's had a knock on him defensively. Sort of like I had a knock on me offensively. Sort of same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the knock on him offensively. You got to remember when they were winning, they won that championship. He was a reserve. He wasn't a starter.
Mm.
But if they're making the move now, I'm quite sure they're making the move for him to be the starter.
Yes, I would assume so. Yeah,
and I don't know. I think he could be a good replacement for James. I'm not sure if he's a good
pairing with Maxey.
Yes.
So let me ask you, because that's been a big conversation, like who and what kind of player to pair best with Maxey. What would be the makeup of a guy? We don't have to get into names exactly yet.
What? Because I never really thought about that until now. Like I really got to spend some time on the type of player that could be around Maxey. But some of it will depend on how we're going to use him. Is he going to be the 1, or is he just going to be a 2 where he's just scoring?
Yes. So
that's a big depends on how we're using them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just assumed with Fred, if Fred would kind of be the 1, or they could be, because he's better suited for it with Maxey than Maxey is with him. I don't know, but if we get, Obviously, you get a guy like KCP, who is a shoot threes defense. Maxey be the one.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Get someone like Fred
or Gary Trent, for instance. Gary Trent would be good.
He's the wing. You know what I'm saying? So you go get somebody else.
Maxey's primarily one. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You go get.
I think that's easier to find.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you go get
even Melton. Melton's a pretty good pairing with Maxey if Maxey plays the one. Good defense.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but he's in the KCP mode.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yes. Totally.
What's the guy that everybody from the Lakers is talking about?
Reeves.
Yeah, Austin Reeves. So
Reeves,
a guy like him, for instance. Let's just take him because he's a free agent. He's played well and kind of can play both. Like,
yeah, he can ball handle. Yeah,
you see what I'm saying. So it's like, but Austin Reeves also has some size to him.
Yes.
And that's where I'm saying I think in order for them to kind of mesh a little better, they probably need to get a bigger guy, a little bigger guy. Because Maxey's not that big, especially when you look at him from a shooting guard standpoint.
Yeah, no.
From a point guard standpoint, he has good size.
Yeah.
So what's hard, you know, would have been a perfect match for him was the rumor at 1.2 was Halliburton. I think Halliburton would be a perfect guy with Maxey.
Halliburton is good size, can defend, score, play off the ball, play with the ball.
Yep. That's what you just described, I think, is the perfect compliment to him.
But we still had to determine how Maxey's going to play with him. You see what I'm saying? Like
that's the problem.
Even though Halliburton is a good fit because he does a lot of different things and he can play both positions, we still got to determine how we're going to play Maxey. Because we've had Maxey at the 1, we've had Maxey at the 2. He's been successful at both. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's why I said this whole thing with James, like, if James doesn't come back, like, do we go get a 1 or do we go get a 2?
I know. That's the hard part. And without knowing what you want Maxey to be on your team,
you don't really
it's hard to
replace
James.
Yes.
But if you keep James, then you're choosing what you want Maxey to be at that point. Because Harden's still not proven to be a really good off ball. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, is that something you try to do? Like, I think that's the tough part because James not re-signing to not have the ball in his hand.
No. James isn't cutting.
And you have to be upfront with him on how you expect it to look because if you don't, that spells nothing but issues for during the season.
Very quickly.
Yeah, he's gonna call you out. The agent is gonna be on the phone immediately. You guys promised me this. Yeah. You said this and that.
Yep.
So, like, for example, when you hear, I mean, obviously we're not in Nick Nurse's head, but when you hear him talk, because he said when he brought Maxey to the press conference, he said his first thing was to get him more reps in the pick and roll in an effort to make him more of a creator. And he said that's the first thing he thinks of when he thinks of Maxey's improvement. Do you think that kind of lets us know what he wants him to do, or no, that still doesn't tell you?
I mean, it tells me that he wants to have him to have the ball in his hands more. That's what it tells me because that's the only way you can do run pick and roll. Doesn't necessarily make you the point guard, but it means that I'm going to put the ball in your hands more. So that's different.
Yeah.
So somebody's not going to have the ball if he's doing that.
I don't know how you do that and say you want James coming back. It just doesn't. Those two things are opposites for me.
Maybe you do it because you don't just pound the ball down to the big man.
Yeah. I mean that's true.
Yeah, I mean,
Maxey,
that's the part that's why with us, and I'm sure people that really really follow the Sixers, that's why so much of it is a wait and see because we don't sort of like it sound good, but okay, how you? We sitting up here, we still trying to figure out how to get Tobias 15 shots.
I know.
Yeah.
Another guy would have fit really well skill set wise. I mean, injuries have been a true shame. Lonzo Ball would have been a good fit with Maxey. Another guy who would be good.
But
good
with Lonzo, you know what he is though. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what he is with Lonzo. Lonzo will run that point. He's gonna have the ball. So you knew Maxey was a shooting guard, a scorer, go get buckets.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's more defined getting certain guys. Like you say, you go get KCP. And that's why I threw him out, because he's such a, you know who he is.
Yeah.
But now you get him, you know, okay, Maxey has the ball in his hands. He's the point. But with Lonzo Ball, he's scoring off the ball.
And can also do some catch and shoot.
And that's what I'm saying with Fred. I mean, he can be off the ball. Like, he cannot, like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, Fred, to me, is a scoring guard.
Yeah. You also need size too, though, right? So it's not just skill set.
But I'm saying that
Lonzo Ball and Halliburton are both 6'5", 6'6".
Fred plays more like Maxey. They play similar. They're very similar as far as their style. It's just Maxey's bigger.
He's a more developed playmaker.
He's bigger and he'll attack the rim more. Fred is smaller and he'll use the pick and roll and shoot more jump shots.
Yeah, it was like six and a half assists last year. Not bad. Pretty good.
No, I'm saying that just the way they create is different. I'm just saying like Maxey's more inclined, even though he shot the ball really well from 3 this year, he's still more inclined to attack and shoot those runners and get in the paint. Yeah. Where I see Fred more of taking shots, but more threes and stuff and jump shots off of.
Fred shot 8 of them a game last year.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's different. I think they got the same thing as far as trying to score the ball, but it's just different in how they get it. Maxey can get his more without pick and roll, more so than I think Fred can.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out through if Harden's obviously here, we know what the
I mean that's why like it's hard. It's hard for us to really dissect it, because it's sort of like until we know what it's going to look like with James, like we don't know anything as far as what this team is going to do.
Yeah. And if once the James domino falls, and let's say he's not with us, then we'll see what they want to plan for in Maxey's role.
Yeah,
based on who they go after.
But that's what I'm saying. When James not coming, the roster building will also tell us too.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like who they're getting totally.
Yeah,
we were like, okay, nobody else is coming. Like they not gonna go get a guy that's a backup point guard and tell him, hey, you the starter here. Not with a team that's supposed to go to the conference finals and finals.
Yep.
Like they got to build the roster of this. You feel like you can do that.
Another guy I want to throw out there too, who I think would be perfect. There'd have to be a lot of trades involved. Is DeJounte Murray. I think he would also be really good next to Maxey. 6'5", good mid range, can play defense.
Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't think that.
We just don't know what they're.
That's what I said. You don't know what Atlanta's doing. We don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't think they know what they're doing right
Trae
now.
Young, I'm just saying with Trae Young, those rumors coming out for a reason.
Yep.
All that stuff about him is coming out for some reason. Like, somebody there is saying something.
It's going to be a very interesting offseason for Atlanta, for sure.
You also mentioned Alex Caruso is another potential guy next to him.
That's a much cheaper route to go. It's not the big splashy name, but as far as makeup, he can hit an open jumper. He can play defense. He's 6'5". He can distribute. In like 22 minutes, he's averaging like 5 assists a game. So, I think that is a guy. As far as makeups go, that is a guy. If you're going to play off ball for Maxey, I think Caruso would be a good option. He's also under contract, so you'd have to do like a DeRozan Caruso deal,
which I'd love.
Eric, would you do DeRozan and Caruso for Tobias?
Those two for Tobias?
Yes.
Yeah. You got a defense, all defense. You got a guy that can get a bucket. You have PJ that can play some four. You have another guys off the bench that can play four.
Yeah.
I don't think Chicago would do that. But
you don't think so?
I don't know if Chicago.
If they're trying to clean up their cap, then yeah, I guess they would.
Yeah, but I don't know if Chicago, I think they could be there if Levine is moved.
Well, that's what I heard. I heard they're trying to kind of clear it out so Levine's their guy. I don't know how true that is, but that's what they're.
Their guy or him being moved?
No, like building around him and like making him the focal point of their team. If you're going to do that, you probably have to get rid of DeRozan.
But isn't he the number one option on your team?
I think that's the problem. I think they want it to be Levine, and DeRozan's just not letting that happen. I mean,
maybe they need a certain coach to go there. And
a lot of people say DeRozan wouldn't be a good fit.
I'm just saying, man.
Yeah,
no more pounding.
They do have a guy they pound
guys, man, to hold them accountable and stuff. You know, there's only one coach in the league doing that.
Oh, that's good. Also, that's a connection there too. Wasn't Nurse the coach that was the reason or not reason, but he was the coach when they traded DeRozan?
They didn't have. I looked. They never played they never had a season together.
Oh, so Nurse wasn't the coach.
DeRozan and Nurse. They didn't overlap. He might have been there when they actually did the trade.
Who are you talking about? Nurse and
DeRozan.
So they traded him.
Nurse's first season was with Kawhi.
So his first season was the 1 year they won a championship?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
That says a lot.
Hopefully we have a lot of luck like that.
I'm just saying, it says a lot. Your first year you won a championship.
I believe they made a joke about that during the press conference today.
What's that?
Maury and him made a joke about winning, being a first-year coach with a team and winning a championship, saying it's hard to do, but they kind of like joked about it. They laughed.
I mean, they did have the best record in the East the year before, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Was that the year Casey won the?
He got fired.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They had the best record. And they got swept by the Cavs.
Yeah. Do you, now that we know that Nurse chose the Philadelphia over Phoenix and Milwaukee?
Did he?
That's all the reports. Yeah.
Apparently,
he pulled his name out of the Milwaukee job and he chose Philadelphia over Phoenix.
Definitely chose them over Phoenix, from what I've heard, but the Milwaukee one's up for debate.
So Phoenix offered him the job?
That's what the reports
Allegedly.
are.
Allegedly.
Yeah, Woj's report was that he chose Philadelphia over the other two jobs.
They were both chasing him into the weekend.
Did he say that Phoenix offered him the job?
He did not say that.
Did not say that, no. I mean, that was a topic on all the.
I'm saying when they said, to me, it said when you choose something, that means both of them
are on the table.
Yeah.
And he said he was in discussions with both teams in the weekend. They're heavily pursuing him into the weekend.
But his conversation with Joel Embiid put it over the top, apparently.
He must have told Joel he's not going to give him the ball every time down. And Joel like, yes, I don't have to go down there. Is that what happened?
Yeah. You don't want to play in the paint every time, do you? No. Well, here you go. We're best friends.
And you can bring your falling coach to all.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I just can't get into these. It's like so many things. There's like rumors, contradictions. Like,
yeah, no, of course.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you chose this over that. Like we don't really know.
No, we don't. Especially with the Milwaukee one's even more murky. I don't know we don't know at all what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you're gonna pick Philly over Milwaukee and Phoenix.
Yeah,
maybe Philly offered him and he went back to them like his agent went back to them like, hey, we just got an offer from Philly. If you want him, you're gonna have to come because we taking this offer in 24 hours. If you don't want to match it, or so it could have been like that.
It could have been, yeah.
Right? Okay, that's what I'm saying. We don't know.